Well, you certainly, I mean, it was kind of all leading up to this for you, and you definitely got to vamp it up a little bit more than certainly in some of your other films. How was it trying to kind of get into really get bloody and get bad?
It was fantastic, you know, yeah. The whole sort of series has been kind of lead into this showdown, I suppose. And I've always enjoyed playing the character, but each time I've come to the film and played the character, you sort of imagine a bit more, you learn a bit more about him, and kind of create a whole new backstory and life for him. So for this film to be able to kind of show some of that and reveal a bit more of what's going on underneath for him was fantastic.
So do you see him as a guy that's just really power hungry, or do you think he really, really cares as much as he says about the whole vampire keeping him?
I think the key to it is that you know, he's immortal. He kind of lives forever now. He's been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, and that must be really boring. You just seen everything, you've done everything. So you've got to amuse yourself with something, you know. It drives you a little bit crazy, and you're constantly looking to cause trouble or find something new, you know. That's why he loves to kind of find these people and collect them with all their different unique qualities, and why he's so delighted when he comes across Renesmee, who's something that he's never experienced before. So I think that's the key to it, is that that he's just trying to keep himself occupied and amused.
Just a little something to do, ruin everyone else's lives, and
for the rest of eternity.
Exactly. So we got to, I mean, without spoiling too much, we got to include that fun added twist that, as someone who hasn't read the books, I was completely surprised.
Right.
How was it, how did you take the news when you heard they were adding that in? Were you nervous about the fan response or excited?
Oh, no, I knew immediately that it was going to be, well, when I first read it in the script, I was like, hang on, what's going on here? And then when I kind of understood the whole thing, I thought that's going to be great. Because, you know, for the audience who've read the books and who've followed the stories, there's never any really huge surprises, you know. It's interesting to see how certain things get portrayed on screen and who's playing the character and how they're going to do this and how they're going to do that. But the idea of something coming so out of left field that they weren't expecting, I think is a kind of a reward for the loyalty of the fans. So I knew it was going to play well. But then when I watched it, the finished version of the film, and there are certain moments in it that I'm involved in that I thought, wow, I can't wait to see this with an audience.
And so now, did you play, I was talking to Bill downstairs, and he said that he was always switching back and forth between who he wanted to live and die in this kind of battle scene, that we won't say who lives and who dies, but did you get to play around with different people?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of the battle scene that didn't make it into the final film, so there are all kinds of interesting permutations that were going on there. At one point, I think Arrow sort of turned into a kind of animal and kind of became this kind of animalistic thing, and you saw the kind of really crazy side of Arrow. So there are all kinds of things, but I mainly did the fighting stuff with Rob and Kristen, and that was fun. Although, of course, you know, the stakes are quite high when you're fighting Rob and Kristen. If you do a slightly, you know, accidental karate chop to the neck, there could be some big lawsuits going on, so I had to be quite careful. But no, it was great fun doing all that.
That's so funny. And I heard also a rumor that maybe there was a bit of a dance take sequence.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, we worked on the scenes for the battle scene for weeks and weeks and weeks, and that we'd all be up one end, the Volturi lot, and then the Cullens would all be down the other end, and we'd never be able to really talk because they were too far away. It was a huge set. And we went to do this one take, and you know, the cameras were all set up, all the actors were in place, and they said action, and then instead of the scene beginning, suddenly this music started playing in the studio, and it was the Eurythmics, Sweet Dreams Are Made of This, and then they broke out into this choreographed dance routine. It was incredible, all of them, hundreds of them.
It was the Cullens? Or
it was the Cullens, yeah. It was the Cullens, and then all their, you know, their army kind of thing, all their witnesses, and they'd been working on this dance routine for weeks. It was brilliant.
Who do you think was the best dancer from your view?
Mackenzie Foy, definitely. Little Renesmee, she was fantastic, yeah.
Did you guys feel the need on the Volturi side to kind of fight back? And
well, yeah, it makes you kind of want to go, oh, why haven't we got a choreographed dance routine we can suddenly jump into? So I think that's a lesson learned, is that everyone should always have a secret choreographed dance routine that they can just break into at any moment.